Okay, we're about to work on the logs webquest. Okay, so I'm going to start by giving us some basic information. Okay, so if you see in this box here, we got log b a equals x. And I'm going to explain that. Okay, a is the argument, basically. B is the base, so that makes sense, b for base. And x is the exponent. Okay, so kind of not important right now. So we're going to rewrite the log as an exponential form. So what we do, we start with our base. So 2 is our base. Remember, base is at the bottom. Start with your base. And it's going to make like a little loop here. So the base is like small. He's going to become big. And then it's going to be 2 to the third. So you see how that is? 2 is going to the third. 2 to the third. Okay? We're going to put equals. And now we're going to go to the 8. So 2 to the 3 or 2 to the third equals 8. Okay? So that's how we rewrite it. And I'm going to help you. First of all, let's identify all these things like the base, the exponent, solution. Okay? So we know our base is our b, which is our 2. That's our base. Our exponent is whatever goes up in the air, which is same here, 3. If we look up here, we can see that. So exponent was in the x position, so that should have been 3. And then our solution, which we call our a, is 8. Okay? So let's try one more, and then you'll have a few to do on your own. Okay? So remember what we do. We start at our base of 3. So 3 is going to go to 4. So 3 to the 4th. And make sure your 3 is big, your 4 is small. They kind of switch sides. Now from the 4, we're going to go to 81. So equals 81. And we can identify everything we need to know. 3 was our base. 4 is our exponent because it's up in the air. Or you can look here, it's in the x position. And 81 will be our solution. Okay? So I want y'all to pause the video and complete the next 2. Okay, so now for these, we're going to use what we did in the first section where we were rewriting them, but this time we're going to actually have to solve them. Okay, so first we start with our base. So if you see, we have a base of x, and it's going to go to the third. So x to the third, we put our equals on. So from 3, it's going to go to 64. Okay, so after we get finished writing it, we got to do a little bit of work because we got to solve it. We got to figure out what x is. So another way of stating this, it says, what number to the third power equals 64? Well, what I have pulled up here is a power table. It's like 1 through 10. So all I have to do, since I know it's sum to the third power, I'm looking at the third row. So I know 1 to the third is 1. 2 to the third is 8. 3 to the third is 27. And remember, I need 64. 4 to the third is 64. So my answer would be 4. Because 4 to the third equals 64. Okay? So that's a little way, a quick way of doing it. Let's look at the next one here. So I'm going to move my power table down. And I will make y'all a copy of this power table. Okay? So here we go. We're going to rewrite. So x to the second. So x is big, 2 is small. They're opposite of what there was. 2 goes to equal 121. Okay? So look, we know we're going to the second row. And we're looking for what gives us 121. And actually, it's not on here. But if we go to the second row, 11 to the second gives us 121. So I didn't have that actually on here. But, so 11 to the second is 121. Okay? So pause the video and complete the other problems. Okay, so here's example number 3. And basically we're going to rewrite and solve. Okay, a little different, but we're going to go from our base of 5 to our exponent. So 5 to the x, or 5 to the x, like I said. Then x to 25, so equals 25. Okay, so if I go back and pull up that chart, sorry, should have had it on here. Just in case if you don't know this, this is an easy way to kind of reference. Let me put this here. Okay, so we're looking here. We're looking at the 5s, because that's what they gave us. We're looking at the 5s here. So I'm going to go to the row of 5, and it says something to 5 to something power equals 25. So if we look here, here's 25, and it's 5 to the second. So the answer will be 2. Okay, let's try another one. Let's see. What's the next one? Okay, so this one we have a base of 4. So 4 is going to go to x. So 4 becomes big to the x equals 32. Okay, so this time we're going to go to the 4s. So here's the 4, and we need it going to equal 32. And I think I made a mistake on this. Let's change that from 32 to 1024. Yes, so sorry guys, change it to 1024. Trying to go fast to make these. So I'm going to put 1024 here. 1024 here. So if we look at the 4s, 1024 would be 4 to the 5th. So our answer should be 4 to the 5th, which is, we need that 5 for our answer. Okay, so y'all pause the video and try the other ones. Okay, so here's example 4. So once again, we're going to start using the same concept of rewriting using our base. Okay, this one is a little different because it doesn't tell us our base. Because you know the base would normally be right here beside the log. Well, it didn't give us nothing here. So it is understood that if there's no base listed, that it's always 10. I wish they would just write it, but they don't. So I'm going to rewrite this just to show you how it would look if they actually wrote the number 10 as a base. Okay? And then it'll make it so much easier once I show you this part. And we're going to follow our same pattern, how we rewrite, and then we're going to solve it. Okay? So we go from our base of 10 to our exponent. So 10 is big now, 3 is small. It's going to go over the equal sign, so we're going to put our equal sign, and it's going to equal 4x minus 20. Now, guys, what we have created is an equation for us to solve. So if I just do it like this, put a line in the middle, we do 10 to the third, which you could just put in your calculator, 10, caret key 3, and it should give you 1,000. So this becomes 1,000. And we just bring the other side down, 4x minus 20. And then now we're solving for x. So we're trying to get things away from x. So I got to get rid of this negative 20 by adding 20 to both sides. So we get 1,020 equals 4x. And then we got to get x by itself. So the only thing left is to divide by 4. So 1,020 divided by 4 is x equals 255. Okay? So let's try one more example, and then you'll have some to do. Okay, let me move this down. Okay. So if we look here, same kind of scenario. There's no 10, no base, so we put 10. So I'm going to rewrite 10 to the second equals, because we're going to go over the equal sign to here, 9x plus 1. And we're going to solve this baby. Okay, so 10 to the second is 100 equals 9x plus 1. We're going to solve for x, so we're going to get things away from x. So we're going to minus 1 from both sides. We get 99 equals 9x. And then we want to completely get x by itself. So we're going to divide by 9. Give me a second to move all this out of the way. Then we're going to divide by 9. We get x equals 11. So pause the video and try the next two. Okay, so for example 5, we're going to write the inverse of a log. So our example says log of 3x. Well, it doesn't equal anything, so we're going to set it equal to y. And I want you to know that y equals f of x. Like, they mean the same thing. So if you ever see a f of x, this is a fancy way of saying y. Y equals something. Okay? So now we're going to redo our little thing. We're going to rewrite it. So we go from our base of 3. Let me use a different color. To our exponent of y. So 3y. We're going to go over the equal sign, so we're going to put the equal sign equals x. Okay? So that's how we would rewrite it normally. But it says the inverse, so we're going to switch our x and y. So basically, for the inverse, what happens? These switch. So your answer becomes 3 to the x equals y. So this is basically your answer, 3 to the x. And remember, we could have put f of x or whatever, but really the answer I'm looking for is 3 to the x. Okay, let's do another example, then y'all can try some. Okay. So this is our next example. So we're going to set it equal to y. And we're going to rewrite 6 to y. So we got our 6 to y equals, because we're going over the equals to the x. Okay? So now that we have it rewritten, we're going to inverse, so we're going to switch our x and our y. So we're going to switch positions. So it's 6x equals y. Okay? So now you can stop the video and do the last two problems.